If I say the Falklands to you, you might be thinking Harrier jets, Exocet missiles, and Margaret Thatcher. But that was nearly 40 years ago. And it turns out, there is much more to the Falklands. In January 2020, we actually got the chance to go. Matt, Darren, and myself were heading out to make an air safety video for BFSAI, British Forces South Atlantic Islands. We thought we'd take you with us on that journey for a fresh look at the Falklands. We're taking you behind the scenes on one of the UK's largest military deployments. It's an 18-hour flight from RAF Brize Norton. In fact, it's not really near anywhere. But first, a bit of background for anyone who might need it. Two nations clashed when Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands in 1982, almost certain that the British wouldn't sail the 8,000 miles to claim back their overseas territory. The Brits weren't having it. Something had to give. Britain put out a call to its good pals at the Royal Navy, the Paras, the Royal Marines, the Gurkhas, and the SAS to name a few, and did make the voyage across the Atlantic. What happened next is another story for another time. But suffice to say that today, you see no Argentine flag flying over Port Stanley. I wanted to get a glimpse of what life is like on the Falklands today, and every Englishman knows that the first place to head when you arrive somewhere new is, of course, the pub. Welcome to the Globe Tavern, where almost every day for the last century you'll find sailors, soldiers, airmen and airwomen all enjoying an adult beverage. I was sitting down for one such beverage with the owner.
Happy days, man.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Globe, yeah? I think it's about the oldest bar on the Falklands between here and the Rose. It has got quite a bit of history with the military because it was open for the military after the conflict. Like
one of the first things that
they did, like secure the globe, make sure it's open, and like and I mean, you'd be surprised who walked through that door, like, you know, celebrities and famous faces, you know, and princes, you know, come through the door, like, you know, and but that's for another discussion.
Yeah, we'll not name any names.
But we won't name no names. But like it's been great, like, you know, and there's tremendous respect still for the forces and what they did, like, you know, it's still there. And as you walk about Stanley, you can see that you know that respect still there, appreciation for all what has been done, like, so yeah, it's a nice place. It's a lovely community to grow up in and to visit. If you can't find yourself staying here, it's a lovely place to visit. And mainly, of course, hop into the Globe and have a friendly pint.
It's a lovely pint, I've got to say. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man.
So it's been a port and storm for 120 years, another 120 years to go?
Well, I won't be there to see it, but I guarantee this building will be here to see it. You know?
Cheers to that.
God bless it,
awesome.
man.
Let's leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that, man.
Pubs aside, there is still a large military presence on the islands. At any one time, up to 3,000 personnel from across the three services call the Mount Pleasant complex home. Today, you won't see any Harriers patrolling the skies, but that's not to say that they're empty. RAF Typhoons make good use of the near enough limitless airspace. They have sorties most days and practice air-to-air refueling with the local Voyager. The airfield is crewed by a dedicated RAF team, facilitating both military and civilian flights into the region.
MPA Tower, Rover 2, request from Delta West, cross runway 28, vacating at the main airspeed.
MPA Tower, crash 3, roger that, I'm just hitting the green light.
We headed out to sea to get some pickup shots for our video. Matt and Darren, both veterans of the Royal Navy and British Army respectively, had never got the chance to visit during their service. I think it's fair to say we're all pretty blown away. It's clear the seas are rich in life, and fishing provides much of the revenue to the island's economy. It was time to head back to land to find out how the Falklands are moving away from their past and into the future. Just down from Thatcher's bust, you'll find the office of the Legislative Assembly, where I was sitting down with Dr. Barry Elsby to talk all things Falklands.
To a greater or lesser extent, depending on who is in power in Argentina, continues to claim our country, and it's actually written into their constitution. So when they talk about talks, and they say they want to talk to the United Kingdom about the Falkland Islands' future, they cannot talk, because written into their constitution is they cannot give away their claim on the islands. Do I believe that there will be an Argentinian invasion? No, but without that deterrent, who can say? And who would have believed we'd have had an invasion in 1982? It's unusual to go to any part of the UK where they accept low flying. Most people object to it. People here ring up the military and say, "You haven't buzzed me for the last week, what's wrong?" Low flying aircraft are welcomed here by the islands, and they're known as the sound of freedom. So it's that link as well. And we welcome the Falklands becoming much more of a training asset, so that we know that many units from Her Majesty Forces are cycling through here, doing training, working as a tri-service, which is unusual. And we're very keen that that sort of link develops so that we are seen as a resource that can help the military's development. Things have changed though in the Falkland Islands, and we're no longer on a war footing. We are now engaged much more with countries in the region, such as Chile and Uruguay. And what we hope is that the forces here will begin to enjoy, I think, much more of the Falkland Islands. And we talk about the modern Falkland Islands because people, I'm afraid, in the United Kingdom think about the Falklands, they think about that awful time in 1982, but that's not the reality of the modern Falklands. Although we're a British overseas territory, that means we are internally self-governing, so we make our own laws, we pass our own bills, and we're self-financing. So we don't get any direct aid from the United Kingdom. The money we spend, we raise ourselves in fishing and other things in the islands, meat production, and hopefully some oil as well.
Next up, we needed some wildlife shots.
Stay on the plan. That's the plan.
We didn't exactly have a plan, but if you don't know where you're going,
Been sleeping in here.
you can never really be lost. First, we found some sea lions.
The sea lion down there.
They don't seem to do much except sleep and make more sea lions. Better leave them to it then. Next, we needed some shots of birds. Not that kind, Matt. That kind. There's this guy. Ducks. A flying duck. That one. Baby ducks. Oh yeah, and who could forget these guys?
I find myself on Bertha's Beach, home to some 3,000 Gentoo penguins.
We basically hung out with these penguins until we ran out of memory cards. We knew that it was nearly home time. Finally, we needed some aerial shots. We were making an air safety video after all. Matt, with 8 years' experience as an aircraft handler in the Royal Navy under his belt, was the obvious choice to hang out the heli and get the shots. Now up in the clouds, looking down at this small slice of Britain, out here alone in the South Atlantic, I was speechless. For such a small place, so much has happened here. Every single inch is beautiful, both living and land. And long may it continue. But everywhere you go, you sense that something still lingers. And at these shores, well, that they'll never forget what they've seen.
What's that, mate?
Just more footage I've got to delete.